Tell you frankly, I don't know. I'm new at this sort of thing. What do you usually do in a case like this?
If I were you, I'd just go and forget the whole thing, right?
But you ain't me.
Howdy folks, and welcome back to the Spaghetti Theater for another Spaghetti Theater review, where I will finally be reviewing the only sequel to the original Trinity movie. They Call Me Trinity, starring Terence Hill and Bud Spencer, of course. It's called Trinity Is Still My Name. Yeah, he didn't change it. Oh yeah, Crispin number 6, everyone. Say hi, Crispin number 6.
Hi, Crispin number 6.
This is a sequel that actually lives up to the original, and in my opinion, is even funnier than the first one, which I reviewed on this channel a few years ago. Even though this movie doesn't only recycle a lot of the same actors from the first movie, but in different roles. Some of the scenes are used again a couple years later in the movie My Name is Nobody. And the plot is very similar to the first one too. Only none of that matters because it turned out to be just as good of a movie by comparison anyway. Trinity is an excellent character that only Terence Hill can do justice to. And even though the movie is named after his character, Bud Spencer as Bambino really does steal the show in this one. In my opinion, of course. And so with the recent birthday of Terence Hill back at the end of March, he turned 87, I figured this would finally be a good time to review Trinity Is Still My Name, in celebration of the Italian man's fine work. So here we go again, folks. Trinity and Bambino are back.
Hi.
And this time we get to meet the parents, head bonk a guy so hard that he gets brain damage, and even hear a baby fart. Not once, not twice, but thrice.
Ebenezer here's got a sour stomach.
It's Trinity Is Still My Name, which starts off with an opening gambit with a stranded in the desert and on the run from the law, Bambino, who happens upon this group of whackable thugs having lunch, which is a pan of beans, of course. A Bud and Terence staple right next to the wacky slaps. They even forced Henry Fonda to get in on it once, in one of cinema's most beautiful scenes ever. In my opinion, of course. Right, Crispin?
Who's Henry Fonda?
So anyway, Bambino decides to just use these guys for what he currently needs, since they're all just a bunch of wild wanted criminals, just like him. So first, he uses their very own bullets to get this guy, Italy's version of Sam Elliott, to hand them over, so he can just eat the whole damn pan right there in front of him, before stealing their horses and taking off. But not before he teaches this thug a lesson for trying to grab his gun. A classic Bud Spencer head bonk. And not just any head bonk. This particular head bonk gives this guy permanent brain damage, as you will see throughout the course of the film. So cut to the opening title, where we get to hear Trinity's new theme song. It's very 70s. I like it, but I still prefer the original theme song overall. And Trinity hasn't changed. This is pretty much the same opening from the first film, as his horse drags him across the desert on his homemade bed, so he can nap and continue to go shoeless. So cut back to these guys, and let's try this scene again. Only with Trinity this time, where he suggests to them a miracle cure for the thug with brain damage from Bambino's head bonk. It's simple, just head bonk him again, and it should knock everything back into place.
I heard the same thing.
It sounds reasonable enough to them, so they try it. Only nope, they just made it worse. So Trinity decides to move on. Only they won't let him, because now that they're horseless, they've decided to steal his. So Trinity asks his horse if this is okay.
What do you say?
And...
He says no.
sorry guys, Horsey's not down with that.
Yeah, piss off.
And Trinity is forced to show off his skills again to prevent this. And this line here is reused 2 years later by Terence Hill again and my name is nobody.
We're supposed to shoot it out, right?
You mean we gotta shoot it out?
Then, to make things even worse, he steals their pan of beans from them, and also eats it right there in front of them. After that, he has them all just fight it out, and the last man standing will be spared. Only he just uses this time to get the hell out of there. Waka waka, you just got Trinity. Italian Sam Elliott. So cut to this place. This is where Trinity and Bambino's parents live. And to me, it looks like the tavern from the first movie, only redressed a little bit to be their home. And this is them, folks. Father and Mother Trinity. Dad's being played by Harry Carey Jr. I remember him from Gremlins and Back to the Future 3. And yeah, they're characters alright.
Damnation.
We then get to see Bambino taking a bath in some filthy ass water, followed immediately by Trinity, who dives right into the already soiled Bud Spencer waters. Which is totally pointless anyway, since they both just put their still dirty clothes back on right after. I guess at least he took his clothes off this time, unlike Banana Joe. But again, this is just like in the first movie. And Trinity, being the laziest, doesn't even bother with his shirt when they all sit down for family dinner. Which is this dead American bald eagle.
Looks like an eagle.
Might be.
That they all devour. God bless America. So later that night, Papa Trinity decides that he's dying now.
This generous old heart of mine is gonna stop ticking mighty soon now.
And has one final wish before he dissolves away into spaghetti western heaven forever with the rest of the trash.
I'd advise you to go on the horse rust.
And that is that his two sons here, Trinity and Bambino, are on the right path to being successful horse thieves, criminals, and outlaws.
He'll make a great horse thief someday.
Since no Trinity will ever bow to the systems of the Old West. So they agree and Papa drops dead. I guess. They never really say. He was probably just fucking with them though. But who the hell knows? We never see the parents again after this. So cut to Trinity and Bambino heading off to be bandits and outlaws and whatever the fuck else. As we see that Trinity has constructed himself some sort of little chair for his horsey. Since Bambino has openly stated that he hates that dragging bed shit.
And no ass dragging on that litter of yours. Can't you sit in the saddle like a normal slob?
How inventive of Trinity though. And still no shoes. I love this guy. Lazy my ass. He made that chair. So they get right to work and hold up this covered wagon.
Yeah, get him up.
Get him up there. What the hell are you shooting at?
Only it's a struggling family just trying to make their way in the West. As innocent farmers.
I got a good mind to plug you just for that.
And now their wagon has busted a wheel. Trinity then falls in love with their daughter.
But we ain't got nothing. We're just farmers.
And Bambino decides to be a decent human being and not rob these people blind of the very little that they have. So him and Trinity then act as a modern day Daytona 500 pit crew of the Old West and change that wagon wheel for them. In record time too. Bambino even gives them a few bucks to help them out. Well, the whole outlaw thing didn't really work out too well there, did it? And that, my friends, is where we get our first baby fart. Hit it.
Ebenezer here's got a sour stomach.
Baby fart. Then they take the hell off. So cut to this town where this guy asked Bambino for some charity.
God bless you, brother.
Thanks, old timer.
He didn't get it. So then to get some cash, they get in on this card game with this card shark, who thinks very highly of himself as he shows off his skills. Only he's knocked down a peg when Trinity shows off his even better card shuffling skills before not actually cutting the deck. He cheats. It's all part of his master plan to win, which he does with 4 aces. Convincing the card shark that clearly Trinity cheated somehow.
I say you've been cheating.
And challenges him to a duel of the Old West. He even offers to buy Trinity a drink first.
When the lead hits you, it'll hurt less with a little whiskey in your gut.
Oh, yeah. Give the gentleman a double. That way you won't feel a thing.
Ha! Nice one, Trinity. Bambino then off-screen headbunks these two guys so they don't interfere. And that's where we get to see just how unnaturally fast Trinity is again.
You like to see that again? It's hard to catch the first time.
In another scene that was totally reused in My Name is Nobody.
It's actually very simple. Now pay attention, huh?
Want to see that again? It's hard to catch the first time. So yeah, Trinity is magical, and the known to humans laws of physics do not apply to him. He's one with the spirit, folks. Totally. 5D Trinity. That idiot even tries to take a shot at Trinity as he's leaving with his tail between his legs.
I'll get back at you.
No, you won't, dipshit. So they have money now, which allows them to ditch the rags and buy fancy new suits. And Trinity looks so good now that daughter that they helped out from the covered wagon spots him immediately and falls in love with him all over again because, you know, he's Terence Hill. Those blue eyes, you just can't help yourself.
Holy
That's when Bambino steps out in his fancy new outfit. This is just like he did in the movie Ace High, bowler cap and all. That's when she suggested Trinity that he must be some sort of federal agent in an outfit like that.
You're a federal agent.
And he just goes with it too. Becomes a huge plot point in the movie.
He's a federal agent. He's on duty right now.
Yeah, there's some mighty bad business going on, and the government wants to get to the bottom of it. That's why we're here.
Him and Bambino are now federal agents, where once again, we get to hear a baby fart.
Oh, is that what they call them in these parts?
That's two, baby. And Bambino once again shows some charity by giving the family some cash to help out. Ah, Bambino means baby, I think. Then comes the best and funniest scene in the entire movie series. Trinity and Bambino dining at this upper class restaurant. Comedy gold in my opinion. And from what I've read and learned about this movie, there was no script needed here. This is pure Bud and Terence just winging it. And it's just beautiful. I laugh out loud every single time I see it. And here it is. It's a classic bit that's been done many times before and after. Two characters totally out of their element. The slobs versus the snobs. So first they sit. And Trinity has the waiter remove this unnecessary vase of flowers. It's just gonna be in the way of their eating.
Bring in some food.
So they ask Bambino if they could suggest to him something off of the menu. And he replies with,
No, you may not. Just bring us something to eat.
yeah, just bring Banana Joe a big pile of bananas and he'll be fine.
And on the double.
So then they start to clear all the extra dishes off of the table, which confuses Bambino. He starts to think that his dishes are in danger and are about to be taken and makes damn sure that doesn't happen. That's when the sound of this waiter popping open a bottle of wine for this table startles Trinity and Bambino. Thinking it's gunfire, they warn this gay little waiter
Pull that again, you've had it.
to watch his step with that shit, or you might get your head blown the hell off. So back to eating, as they roll this mini buffet over to their table. The waiter then starts to portion small samples onto their plate. That's how it's done here at Fancy Applebee's. Only this baffles the fuck out of them. Particularly Bambino, as they start to just help themselves to the buffet. They will decide how much of what that they get, okay, buddy? And perplexed himself, the waiter just lets them do what they want. He's not about to get between Bud Spencer and his meal. He won't even let them take the card away once they start eating. It stays. Bud Spencer may want more later. He don't know yet, so they pig out in front of everybody. Like these guys, the local criminals who are running some sort of illegal operation in this town, and are now discussing the possibility of just paying off these two federal agents later, so they can continue their evil ways in peace. And then there's the ladies, who are just turned on by the carefree ways of Trinity and Bambino. This old lady just loves Bambino. Then that gay little waiter again, I love this guy too, comes over with a bottle of wine that they gladly accept. So he goes to uncork it. Recalling how they reacted the last time is mighty careful to be as quiet about it as possible. And... perfect. Wine guy, you get to live another day. He then starts doing that small portions at a time shit with the wine too. Just like the other guy. Which just irritates Trinity at this point. So he just snatches the bottle and starts filling up glasses. Yeah, they don't want to sample it first. They're not Donald Pleasance from that Columbo episode. I'm just surprised that Bambino didn't start drinking it straight from the bottle. And finally, to top this whole bit off is the best part. Bambino finally agrees to let them take that food cart away, so they can roll over a new one. Only this time, to show how fancy they really are, cook the food right there in front of you, on this little stovetop thing. Which is weird to them, but whatever, they can handle that. That is until the waiter lights the fancy culinary chef flame of glory to be a real showman at his work. Only this catches Bambino way off guard. He wasn't ready for this shit. He doesn't watch the Iron Chef, and it freaks him the hell out, so he panics big time and puts that fire right out and grabs the little gay waiter who did it. The other waiter comes over and tries to explain only Bud Spencer's had enough of this shit and just head bonks him. Cause why not? When all else fails and your waiter makes no sense to you, bonk him on the head with your fist. Seriously though, every time Bud Spencer freaks out over that flame, puts it out and head bonks the waiter, I laugh out loud. It never gets old to me. So cut to the next day, where the main bad guy, this guy, has Trinity and Bambino over, so he can bribe them into turning a blind eye to whatever illegal shit he's into. And he's pretty much a copy-paste deal of the villain from the first movie, so he bribes them with $4,000, since he thinks they're federal agents.
Alright then, 4,000.
So they accept it, show off their skills again, and then take off to go have a drink at the saloon, where the bartender is the very same bartender from the first movie. Now he could be playing the same guy, only he relocated his bar to this town, since his old bar is now Trinity's parents' house. Only in this place they won't serve you unless you give up your gun first.
Nobody comes in here now.
That's how they get to meet the town sheriff, a very unhappy little man.
Sometimes it's worse.
After that, they pick a fight with everyone in the bar, since Bambino noticed that most of them were wanted men with bounties on their head, meaning they're worth money. So Trinity instigates a wacky slap-filled, head-bonking classic Bud and Terence fight, featuring this guy again, who was also in My Name is Nobody. He was also in A Genius, Two Partners, and a Dupe that I recently reviewed. He worked for Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll, Jelly Roll, Jelly Roll.
What's this Jelly Roll line?
And to get the fight started, Trinity unties his fancy little Colonel Sanders thing. So eventually the fight's over and Trinity and Bambino win, of course. Only this little guy is still stuck to Bambino.
Is he coming with us? Be seen.
Yeah, see you around, buddy. You will too. I think he's in the final fight. So they turn a few of the wanted ones into that pissy little sheriff guy for the rewards on their head, even though the sheriff is clearly involved with the illegal shit that's going on in this town. Only has no choice but to just lock them up and pay off Trinity and Bambino, since technically it's his job. So later on they're forced to be heroes again to that family in the covered wagon as they're trying to get that piece of crap across this stream, only they're stuck. And Bambino has to use his horse whispering skills to get them out.
Now we can go.
Literally, Bambino's a horse whisperer, which gives Trinity more time to flirt with the daughter again. And another baby fart, folks.
So I guess that makes 3 now. Baby fart.
Then it's alley-oop, they're out of there and back in town, where Bambino devises a plan to rob the local stagecoach.
Now, the best place to rob a stage is the post station.
Since they're actually criminals, remember. That's when this Mexican comes over and asks Trinity and Bambino for some help. Since, according to them, the monks at the local mission gave him this black eye, and are a bunch of drunk, rowdy, abusive a-holes. to all of the local peasants. So Trinity agrees to go to the mission and see what the hell's up with these monks.
Oh, sure thing.
Since that doesn't sound like monks to me either. They're usually far more peaceful.
This is about monks beating up peons.
Besides, Trinity hates it when people bully others like that. The wealthy picking on the lower class. Same old story. Bambino could care less.
Bothers you, don't it?
No.
But he's in it now, so oh well. So cut to that mission, where William Smith is in a heated battle with Kwai Chang Caine, with a swinging chain, all over some stupid chalice. No wait, wrong mission. Cut to the right mission, where they use the story that Bambino wants to go to confession and be forgiven for his sins to let them in and check the place out. So they do. And another hilarious scene is born.
This pilgrim here wants to get confessed.
Bud Spencer goes to confession, something else he knows nothing about, and is completely dumbfounded by it. And he won't do it the normal way either. It has to be him sitting beside you face to face. Get that stupid curtain out of the way. So he confesses his whole life story to this monk.
Either it's between you and me or nothing doing. Well,
Which they cover over with loud church music. But whatever it is horrifies this monk so much, he doesn't even notice that there's a bug crawling on his head. Anyway, Bambino just wants to get this over with. So he demands to be forgiven and cleansed of his sins.
come on, absolve me.
So the monk agrees and starts to do the standard ritual, which again is strange and unusual to Bambino, and he interprets it as an attack. So he defends himself against the crazy monk, and winds up wrecking the entire confession booth. That's when Trinity shows up and they straight out ask the monks who the hell beat up the Mexican.
Why do you beat up the peons?
Only it wasn't them. Those idiots who did that only show up once in a while.
Not we who do the beating up.
So cut to later that night, when Trinity shows back up at the mission to visit his love interest, even though he's supposed to be doing some sort of recon mission for Bambino's upcoming stagecoach robbery.
Because that's where you gotta go to hold up the stage.
Now?
Only no, he needs to show off his Terence Hill acrobatic skills again, as he scales the mission wall and just drops himself to the ground. Like thunk! Thunk! Damn, how did he do that without hurting himself? Bravo, Terence Hill. Bravo. I bet Bud Spencer couldn't do that, not without causing an earthquake. He then gets to witness exactly what's going on at this mission, when a bunch of thugs show up dressed as monks. Now this explains the whole monks beating up poor Mexican peasants thing. It was these guys, and they're part of a gun smuggling operation that uses this mission as a trading post for running guns across the border. So Trinity interferes and puts a stop to this bullshit and sends the fake monks on their way and tells them to never come to hell back.
It's the last time you sneak guns across the border, right?
And while all that's happening, Bambino waits at the bar back in town for Trinity's return, when these guys who work for the head douche in charge come barging in looking for their criminal buddies, the ones Trinity and Bambino put in jail for money. So they go over to the jail and bust them out, only to be recaptured immediately by Bambino. And then the whole lot of them when they try it a second time. So this jail is getting full, and this guy needs to think up a good quip.
You may have the upper hand now, but when we get out of here,
So cut to the next day for Bambino's big stagecoach robbery, where he will be playing the role of one of the stagecoach passengers, and Trinity will be the one who holds it up. Even though he doesn't seem crazy about the idea, goes along with it anyway. Bambino then takes off in the Wells Fargo coach with these passengers that he personally assures are safe from being robbed.
No one in his right mind would attack a stage just outside of town. Take my word for it. No one's likely to stop us now.
Really?
Only he's wrong, of course. And Trinity holds up the stagecoach. Only the only person he robs is Bambino,
oh, don't bother. Thanks anyway. Keep the small change.
before taking the hell off. Which, was not the plan at all. He was supposed to rob the entire stagecoach, not just Bambino, since Bambino is dedicated to this criminal lifestyle that his dad raised him on. That's when this guy makes the dumb mistake of telling Bambino that he was wrong.
So how was that again? No one in its right mind would attack us just outside of town.
Buddy, you know what you're getting, right? Head bonk! It's always funny. It's stupid, but funny. So pissed now, Bambino tracks Trinity down to that mission for the final battle, where now they have to protect this bag of money, $50,000, from falling into the hands of the bad guys that it was intended for. It's their gun-running money.
It's $50,000, brother.
And every bad guy in the movie shows up at the mission just in time to fight for it. Even that brain damaged guy from the beginning of the movie. They're all here, folks. All being led by the main villain, this guy. And they want that money. And to finally put an end to Trinity and Bambino and their interfering. Only they're all but ready for this. The head monk only lets them inside though if they leave their guns outside. And then lock everyone inside the fort to ensure that this ends here and now. And with little bloodshed as possible. So let the final wacky battle begin. It's basically a game of keep away for that bag of $50,000. Now this scene was reused again later in the movie THEY. It ended with every character in the movie playing keep away with a flask that had a treasure map in it. Since THEY was a Trinity ripoff. So it's on. It starts with just Trinity and Bambino versus everybody until the monks finally grow some balls and join in. And it's a whack fest indeed, folks. With plenty of Bud Spencer head bonks, and superhuman strength. The monks then start soaking their bread in water and throwing it at the bad guys. Kinda gross, and I'm not sure how much that helps, but they're doing it anyway, folks. Then there's this scene where Trinity goes to town on this guy's face, who just gladly stands there and takes it. And it was also totally reused again in the movie Watch Out, We're Mad. And speaking of that, that's what this fight scene needs. A good wacky theme song to go with it.
Me too. Me for finding my bag. Me too. Me for finding my bag.
Dune buggy. So it goes on like this for a while, but in the end they prevail. When the Rangers show up out of nowhere to take care of everything. Maybe Walker's great-great-grandfather. All the bad guys are going to jail and Trinity and Bambino look like heroes. And not the wanted criminals that they really are.
I mistook you for a horse thief. We've been hunting for a while.
And they give all the money back too.
Sir, here's $50,000 of Parker's blood money.
They do the right thing in the end.
Our salaries pay enough.
And apparently the monks have adopted Brain Damage Guy. They're going to take care of him from now on. He is their burden. They're doing the Lord's work. So with their work done here, Trinity and Bambino move on. Even though they failed as outlaws, they succeeded at saving a small mission from a bunch of bullies. And once again, no one got killed because it's a Trinity movie. Way to go, guys. And to top it all off, they come across that family again in their piece of shit covered wagon that once again needs the assistance of Trinity and Bambino, who rush to the rescue. Boy, the dad of that family is completely useless. Well, Trinity rushes to the rescue anyway. Bambino sort of just strolls on over. Probably because Trinity is trying to get laid. So fine, the movie's over. That was Trinity Is Still My Name, an equal and even funnier follow-up to the original. They Call Me Trinity, which leads me into my final thoughts on this film. Seriously though, this movie makes me laugh out loud, and most of it is due to Bud Spencer. I really do think he steals the show here. And for something that was almost exactly the same as the first, they changed it just enough and made it funnier just enough to make it work. That whole scene at the upper class restaurant deserves a Lifetime Achievement Award. And to think it was all done on the spot like that with no script. So with that, I'll end my look at this not appreciated enough and only true Trinity sequel. Trinity Is Still My Name. Just like Django, the Trinity name had a lot of knockoffs that didn't feature Bud or Terence. So a big happy birthday to the great, beautiful, blue-eyed Terence Hill. on his 87th birthday. And a thanks again, of course, to all my subscribers and leavers of comments. Adios for now, folks, and I'll see you at the theater. Let's go, number 6.
Mira say hoorah.
Easy now.
I love you.
Oh, isn't that sweet?